Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Taking the Lead. I'm your host, Ken Jacobs of Jacobs Consulting and Executive Coaching. And as you know, if this isn't your first time, if it's your first time, welcome. But if it's not, this is where I get to meet leaders from the PR and communication space. Some are clients, some are future clients, some are friends, some are acquaintances. And we don't really talk much about PR and comms, even though if you're watching this, you may be in PR and comms. We really talk about leadership, that secret sauce, that magic ability to lead and inspire people for the good of the organization and for themselves. That's the fun we have. So let me tell you a little bit about today's guest. I'm so excited to introduce her. She is Malika Klingler. Klingler. Don't pronounce her name wrong, which I did for months before she was kind enough to politely correct me. She is the managing principal at PRR, which is an employee-owned full-service comms agency. She oversees day-to-day operations of the business. She's been with them 15 years. She is indeed one of the company's four primary owners, so she sits on the board of directors. Previously, she had roles of senior director, internal ops, and HR, and she has been in HR, but in my view, HR and a lot more for 20 years. She's focused on career development, performance management, recruiting, compensation analysis, and as I've gotten to know her, a lot more. She's been at Microsoft and Wells Fargo, two names you must know. She is passionate about equity and inclusion and strives every day to create a sense of belonging in every space she oversees. I'm so thrilled to share with you Malika Klingler. Malika, welcome to Taking the Lead.
Thank you so much, Ken. I really appreciate that introduction. So happy to be here with you.
Me too. So let's dig right in. You lead an organization, PRR, which has an anti-racist vision, and you strive towards that, as we said, every day. Please explain that for our viewers, like where you get it wrong and sort of that journey towards being anti-racist.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, and I do want to reiterate what you just said around, sometimes we get it wrong. But it is the vision that we decided to put out there about 4 or 5 years ago because we know that you can either strive to be anti-racist or you may become racist. And so we know it's a bold vision and we know that it's truly aspirational, but we aligned on that as leaders and that was the direction that we wanted to be as an organization. And so what that looks like for us is knowing that we're on a journey every day. And sometimes that means we take a step forward and then the next day we may take 3 steps back. And that is part of the journey and being transparent about that along the way and showing our team and our staff that this is a place where we're gonna fall, we're gonna make mistakes. And then we can do that for our clients as well. I mean, we are doing work that is in service of the public, and we know that we want to be a champion for those who are on the margins. And by doing that means that we are leading from a place of anti-racism, which means that if we're anti-racist, then we are feminist. We are in support of all groups that are particularly marginalized.
You make such a good point about what you just said is so much about leadership, is knowing you will take steps back, knowing it's uneven, knowing, the journey is like that. And I think when you anticipate the unanticipated, and you just as the leader know there will be missteps, excuse me, I think it makes it easier to recover and others to recover and get back on the course. So that's really, to me, emblematic of real leadership. So, you're doing this in an era when, unfortunately, organizations, government agencies, even institutions of higher learning are dismantling DE and I and justice and similar programs, even the use of the term DEI or related language. Well, what from your side, what do you want to tell these organizations?
It is really hard and it's extremely disheartening to be in the space that we're in. But the thing that we have to remind ourselves is we know that history has shown us that when you start to make progress, that there's going to be pushback. And so one of the things for me that keeps me going is that I realize, okay, others have been here before and they've had to continue to resist and keep fighting the fight. And so we're in that period. We are living in that period right now where we're seeing it again and seeing that pushback. And it feels really important. It adds that level of importance, I think, that we can really truly see and experience that pushback, the taking away and the stripping of that. And so while it's so incredibly hard every day, and it's hard to try and make sure that we are keeping our clients and our employees in that fight for what we know is right and for justice. We know how important it is that we are in this time right now.
So, speaking of perhaps your clients and your prospects, what do you say to organizations who want to keep or even grow their DEI and related programs, but they're concerned about the current climate, whether it's political climate or social climate or business climate? What do you say to them?
Yeah, I mean the concerns are fair. They're really fair, and I understand that people are really nervous. And again, right now, is if you have those values and you hold the values of wanting to make change, you can also recognize that change is really incremental usually. And we still have the opportunity to do things incrementally. It may not look like what we thought it was going to be, particularly coming out of 2020. I think, we saw so much enthusiasm and so much recognition of how much change is needed in this country. We were experiencing in COVID and sitting at home all together, seeing things unfolding on the news. We were seeing anti-Asian hate. We were seeing anti-Semitism. We were seeing anti-Blackness. All of those things were right in front of our face all together. And so there was just really this movement. And now we're seeing the backlash. And it doesn't mean that all of those things went away. In fact, they're all still very much there. But maybe the change can't just happen because we've decided it should happen. We have to understand we have to take one step at a time incrementally. So that's what I really want to say is that you can still make change. It's just maybe it's small.
Yeah, good points. So you lead, I think, a rather complex organization. There are four owners. You're the managing principal. So I think you function as the CEO. There's a leadership team, an equity team, not the simplest of organizations. So how do you lead such a complex organization?
Yeah. We like to make it hard for ourselves, right? Just having all the
Apparently.
and it is not easy, but the thing, and we have learned a lot along the way. Again, never afraid to say when we maybe made a mistake, but we did the best we could with the information we had, and we moved forward. And the thing that the four of us, my partners and I, have truly learned is that when we are aligned, then everything else starts to fall in place.
Mm.
So when we can ensure that the four of us are on the same page and aligned with how we want to approach things and really are truly transparent and honest with ourselves and each other, then the rest does start to fall into place. Our other leaders that we have, that's important succession planning for us. It will make it much easier and seamless to have this incredible group of strong leaders ready to go. The equity team holds us accountable. They hold us accountable on behalf of our staff. If we are truly who we say we want to be, and we want to demonstrate the values that we've stated, we need that accountability.
So I have to ask you, if you had, a team of five, it might be easy when there's disagreement. Well, whoever gets the most votes. What do you do when it's 2-2 or 2-2? How do you decide?
Yeah, well, I will tell you, Ken, for me, that's when my strong influencing skills come into play. But I mean, truly, fortunately, that doesn't happen too often for us because we do spend so much time trying to ensure that we are aligned. But when we do, I mean, we have to talk through those situations. We have to work through them. We have to look at what is maybe the data telling us. What has past experience told us, and really try and work through those situations as best we can. But fortunately, they're few.
Good, good. So, who are two or three leaders who've inspired you? They can be, but don't have to be in the world of PR. And of course, tell us why.
Yeah. For me, the people who I am most inspired by are the people that I've actually had the opportunity to work directly with. Um, I mean, I can be inspired by people that maybe I've read their books or have watched them, but truly the people who've inspired me are the people who've helped me along the way. I would say the first one is a boss that I had when I was really growing my career. She's the first person who said to me, "What do you think?
Mm,
What do you?" And I watched how she worked with her clients, with her staff, and truly had that partnership and wanted to know, what do you think? Because it's important. And she truly inspired me.
what's her name?
Her name is Lisa Latham,
Lisa
and
Latham. Okay.
I work with
Shout
her.
out, Lisa, wherever you are.
Shout out to Lisa. Yeah, she's an incredible mentor. And I would also say our founder of PRR, Rita Brogan, and it was incredibly inspiring to me as a communications leader, as a woman of color. It was the first time I had ever worked for a CEO who was not just a woman, but a woman of color. And her leadership, her direct style, her impact, the way that people followed her, incredibly inspiring. And the fact that I could sit down with her and just listen and hear from her every day was a huge impact for me. So those are two that really had the biggest impact on me and super inspiring.
It's funny. This reminds me the leadership, maybe legacy opportunity we all have that with our interactions with individuals, wherever they are in their careers, we have the chance to inspire them and to look someone in the eye and say, well, what do you think can be so powerful? And it stayed with you now at least 15 plus years. And who knows? Perhaps you've been inspired to say that to others. So we do have every one of us, PR, not PR, doesn't matter. The ability to inspire someone, to feel inspired, and to become a better leader. And those are two great examples. Okay, last question as we wrap up. And this one will be about PR and comms for our viewers who are particularly in that space, and we have many of them. What do you see as the biggest challenges facing leaders in PR comms in 2025 this year?
Yeah, I would say for me, I think that the biggest challenges right now, and really what's been on our minds a lot, is around the unpredictability of the time frame that we're moving into, and just the amount of content that is there and out there, and especially the misinformation in the content. And as an organization that has primarily government clients, we are dealing with not only the distrust around the message that's out there, but the messenger. So it's, I think that just dealing with the distrust of the media, the communication, our industry, the mistrust that people have in institutions, government right now just feels like it's an incredible a challenge, and especially as everything just continues to move and evolve so quickly, and where people are getting their information and trying to stay on top of it. Those are going to be incredible challenges for us.
The potential good news on the day we tape this, I saw something that said communications and the chief communications officer, et cetera, there was more trust and credibility in them than versus, say, the CEO. That's not good news for CEOs. But I think it could mean that anyone in the space maybe has some opportunity to build trust and combat mistrust and, take those jobs very, very seriously because in some spaces it really does affect people's lives. So it's a heavy the head that wears the crown. But if you are in communications in 2025, I think there's challenge, yes, but I do think there's great opportunity. So
That
if
is
our
hopeful.
viewers, oh, I'm sorry, yeah, if our viewers want to get in touch with you, what's the best way?
Well, the best way to reach me is through our different avenues through PRR. So you can certainly reach me through my email, which is my first initial last name at prrbiz.com, and also through our general info at prrbiz.com. I'm on LinkedIn, and you can reach me and message me there. And also just calling PRR. They will make sure that you get to me. I know. Just
Right?
that old school phone still works too.
That is lovely. Love the phone. Love the phone. I knew I would learn so much. I knew you would be inspiring to our viewers. You did not disappoint. You forgave me for misspelling your name, whether it was weeks or months, I don't know, but it's committed. So make sure it's Klingler when you reach out.
Don't forget
And,
that
and
second.
and for anyone out there, if you want to reach me to discuss what we've talked about today, you want to discuss leadership, you want to explore if coaching is right for you, you know where to find me, but I'll say it again, KEN at JACOBSCOMM.com, KEN at JACOBSCOMM.com. That's a long email. Or find me on LinkedIn. If you look for me on LinkedIn, there are a lot of Ken Jacobs, but I'm the one with some initials after my name. And I think I'm the only one, Ken Jacobs, on LinkedIn. Thank you again, Malika. And for everyone else out there, till next time, keep on taking the lead.